All right. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no, it's great. It's great to have this opportunity.
So why don't we start by you telling me how you ended up at UT and what you do now?
So I was blessed to be able to do a fourth year acting internship with the university and was immediately intimidated, so to speak, as I had met Dr. Eisenberg when he was just a resident during morning report. And I realized, wow, is this the caliber of everybody here? When later I find out that he had already been practicing for several years. But it really set the standard of kind of the collegiality and everybody that was there to kind of set up that learning environment. And was blessed to match here and have been a resident and then a chief and been an APD ever since.
And what's your interaction with the residents now? Do you teach them on the wards and the clinics?
So I'm really blessed to have this opportunity to work on both fronts. We work both in the clinic environment and the inpatient environment. What's been really special is working with some of our ward residents that work in our clinic and be able to maybe finish a diagnosis that we had started the workup on in the inpatient setting and follow up in clinic over several visits and finally get to some really challenging diagnoses. And for them, just to be able to walk in the room and know that patient over and over again and really get to the diagnosis and potentially some case write-ups, it's been just such a blessing.
Yeah, the LBJ clinic environment is such a special place. Would you tell a little bit more about what makes it unique compared to maybe the UTPB clinic especially?
Right. And so I was, when I was a resident, I actually worked over at the UTPB clinic and I enjoyed some of the patient interactions there. I felt primarily that I wasn't getting enough opportunities to be able to see patients longitudinally. So when I was able to take over that role at LBJ, we were able to set up resident clinic panels where residents were viewed as the PCP with a lot of faculty support, but the patients come in looking for the resident doctor to kind of answer questions and be their PCP. And it really kind of set that longitudinal relationship for a lot of them. And then as they graduate, kind of passing along those patient panels to the interns. Another opportunity, I think, with our particular area is just that we're kind of seen as a higher level of care for family practice, as well as maybe as a consult service, both for the surgeons and some of our specialty services that are following, particularly hematology oncology, that have been following stable patients and are able to kind of downgrade those patients to yearly follow-ups with internal medicine. And so just kind of that unique population that you're going to likely see in your practice moving forward in general medicine.
Yeah, I know another thing that you've been a leader for in the residency program is the QI initiative. Would you talk to us a little bit about the quality improvement opportunities for residents here?
Yeah, I always like to think of quality improvement as like learning a software package. And I think, years back now, as we're probably on year 8, that we started on version 1.0. And I feel like now we're probably on version 5.0. I think it's really evolved nicely. We're in the first iterations. We had to really just learn the language of QI and figure out kind of the structure. And then we were able to kind of have hospital partners that really help buy into the ability of our residency to help solve some of their clinical problems and challenges that they were facing in terms of reimbursement or cost and other applications there. So over the years, I think we've really dug into both Memorial Hermann and LBJ to kind of serve them on the metrics that are both quality indicators nationally for them, as well as kind of metrics that kind of trickle down for us as residents and in our residency program. So really a nice partnership over the years. And then over just the last few iterations, I've been really happy with our specialty focus. So we allows really the residents that are interested in a particular focus to work one-on-one with a lot of our faculty and fellows within, let's say, GI, cardiology, rheumatology, and so on. So they can kind of build a portfolio of different relationships. So when they go asking for letters, that it's not just in research or just in clinical, but also in QI.
Yeah, I really agree. I think that the QI program has added such a richness to our mentorship program. So people can have mentorship in, research, QI, and the clinical sphere. It's just nice to have as many faculty contacts as possible for residents.
Oh,
Um,
yes. Yeah, it's been really rewarding.
yeah, and then so you were a resident here, and I think one of the things that's hard for, applicants to figure out is whether they're going to fit in a program. You mentioned seeing Dr. Eisenberg as a resident, which sounds intimidating to me also. I'm curious kind of what it was like as a resident, what your biggest, fondest memories are from that time, and maybe even how you would describe a UT resident.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things is really the collegiality, and it's happened every year since I've been here, just talking to the residents in their current classes. But it wasn't uncommon when I was a resident, and let's say if I was interested in a particular specialty, that we'd be all vying, so to speak, for the same spot within fellowships. And maybe want to keep things away from one another for the sake of building up your own resume. That was not the mentality here, and it still isn't. I'm blessed that we have shared how we can do research together, how we can do QI together, different project ideas, different opportunities where my plate might be full and be able to hand that over to my colleague who's also applying against me, so to speak. I've seen that time and time again, talking to the other residents. They're very good about really nurturing one another and kind of building each other up. And they share in those celebrations. I love it when we get to December and beyond, and just seeing all of them celebrating together about their successful matches. And just later on, as I've been blessed to kind of see later on Instagram or Facebook, that they're celebrating life events together. And it's just not this time in residency, but you're building lifelong partnerships. So I think that's what it was like for me, and I still have those relationships with my colleagues, and it's certainly what you would need to expect when you come here. It's just building that real foundation for your professional family.
Yeah, it's really so true. I think part of it too is because we're such a big program with such big fellowships that I think there's just not as much competition, and people, when they help each other, it makes their applications so much stronger. You can just see where they've put each other on publications, and it really, really makes a big difference when it comes time to look for that next step, whether it's fellowship or a faculty job or whatever. Um, let's see. I think the other question I wanted to ask you is a little bit more on the outside of the hospital side. What do you like to do, when you're not here for fun? What are the things that you do in Houston for, hobbies?
Sure. My fun is really my family. I've got three kids, all in one in high school, middle, and elementary school. So a lot of our activities are revolving around them. But we love a lot that Houston has to offer. We're usually either at the zoo or the Children's Museum. We love the arts now. I think our youngest is kind of getting more involved and understands a little bit of music and the arts. And so we're able to kind of get out to those districts and really enjoy a lot of that. And any time of the year, there's always a festival. Even with COVID, they're starting to kind of have opportunities for that. So we love going out. My wife loves to eat. She's a food junkie, so she'll usually find the next best opportunity there within the city to find a great opportunity to try something new. Recently, we tried some Ethiopian fare, which we've never had before. It was very similar to a lot of the spices that we're used to from South Asian feel. So it's just nice to have that kind of cultural mix and readily available to you. The city's just a little underrated when it comes to that, and we're trying to have our family really take advantage of that while they're still growing up. So.
Wonderful. Is there anything else you wanted to say to the applicants that they need to consider as they make their choice? Anything that I've forgotten to ask?
No, I mean, I think, I say this usually when we meet in person. I think the loyalty within UT is quite strong, and you're looking at faculty that have been here for many years, and, I've had, quote, many opportunities to leave, but I wouldn't. I think being a former resident and knowing what the other residents that are now fellows and faculty and professionals everywhere, I feel like there's an onus on me to keep carrying the brand and making sure that the residency still serves the residents. And so I see that with a lot of our faculty that are here. They have that same commitment. And I just, I don't think it's just lip service. You could see it when you talk with them, and just looking at the products that we've been delivering on for the residents as they continue to succeed with such a complex system here at UT.
I totally agree. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you.